Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are testing out the Diatone SNT Mixed-Go series, the SR43 CA51, also known as the SNICLO Mini FPV car model Air 5. It is a 1:43 scale, 64mm wheelbase, competition and drift, four-wheel drive mini FPV RC car. So taking a closer look, we have this ultimate mini-sized four-wheel drive FPV RC car by SNICLO Manufacturing Company. Now, it looks kind of like the Toyota GR Corolla hatchback, and I have the white with the black model. It is also available in the solid gray and the dark purple as well. And at the time of this recording, the price is $104 for the car only, $119 for the car and the remote controller, which I have here, and $199 for the car, the remote controller, the FPV box, and the FPV goggles package. Now, if you already have one of these older remote controllers, or if you have a remote controller like this here, the FlySky FSI6, or one of these multi-protocol radio transmitters like the RadioMaster TX16S that has the afhds protocol, you could just get the car by itself and then get the FPV VTX box if you already have your own FPV goggles to save money if you want to FPV. But if you don't have any one of these already, you got to spend $200 if you want to do FPV with this car. So the size is 108 by 47 by 35 millimeters, and the wheelbase is 64 millimeters. And it weighs in at just 92 grams without the VTX box and 97 grams with the VTX box. Now the tires are the 17 by 6 R13 in size tires. We have the grippy rubber racing tires that comes already on the car, and provided are these hard plastic slick drifting tires. So we have the power push button on and off switch on the bottom and the Type-C charge port, and we can see the wishbone type suspension for the front and the rear as well. And here on the top is the placeholder for the magnetic mount for the FPV box, or the all-in-one VTX disguised as like a sunroof. So simply take it off. That's how it looks like on the bottom, and it is magnetically mounted. So here I have one from a previous SNT model RC car, and it is also magnetically mounted. And these VTX boxes are compatible with the new CA51. So they are using the same VTX, which is great. Now, however, the older version VTX box that is not magnetically mounted and is screwed on will not work, even though they look identically the same. So to detach the body from the chassis, simply pull the rear part of the body up and away from the chassis. They are attached via magnets in the rear and a hook and latch system in the front. So grab the body, grab the tire, and just kind of slowly start pulling them apart. It is pretty hard. And now we have all these wiring harness. So I'm going to go ahead and remove one of these wiring harness so we can take a closer look inside. This one here is for the FPV VTX box connection on top of the roof. So here's the hook, and here's the latch system for the front, and the magnets in the rear. See the two magnets on the inside of the body and the two magnets on the chassis. Now they are very strong magnets. You can really feel them. Just like that, they're stuck. But when you pull it apart, you can feel the strength of the magnets. Okay, so let's take a look inside now. We see the battery compartment, some wiring. So we got the wiring for the front LED lights right here, wiring for the rear LED lights right here, and the battery cables going in. And take a look at the suspension. We have a independent dual wishbone suspension system in the front as well as in the rear. Now this is some high-tech engineering stuff. And take a look at that transparent differential gearbox. Let me show you a little bit better. Turning on the flashlight here. Look at that. Now the drive axle, as you can see, is made out of metal for the rear, but you can't really see the drive shaft. Here you can see the drive shaft on the front better. So when you spin one tire, all four tires want to spin, so you gotta suspend it. So you can see the drive shaft. That's metal as well. And take a look at the steering rods. There, now you can really see them. As you can see, they are turnable, they are adjustable. How intricate is that? And you can kind of see the steering servo that's on the bottom. So kind of hard to see the motors, but it is the 816 5500 RPM motors. And it is said that the maximum speed is less than or equal to 19 kilometers per hour. And right on the top is the battery bay compartment. And check that out. There's a latch, and you can pop it open just like that. How cool is that? So we have a removable 3.7 volt, 400 milliamp Lipo battery with, and it's easily removable. It's not taped down or anything or glued down or anything. And here is the connector. It measures in at 2 millimeters by 2.3 millimeters. And it's a micro JST plug, a very common plug and a very common battery size as well. So to put it back, simply insert it, push it in. So you can get extra batteries for this car and have some charging up while you are playing, and just simply push it down and it locks into place. And this thing is made out of metal as well. So let's go ahead and connect the wiring back for the VTX box. Very easy, just push it in and make sure that the antenna is right where it should be, sort of. Okay, and make sure that the hook system is latched on, just like that. And there you go, just like that. it has been reattached. So here is the new updated AX8 remote controller. So the form factor is the same as before with the slightly offset steering hand wheel. So you can even use your right hand for the throttle and it won't get in the way. So that is really, really nice of them to do that. Now, they are also all compatible with each other. Even if you have the older version, you can drive the new car since it will all use the afhds protocol. So instead of the on and off button on the side, we have the on and off button right here on the top. And instead of the throttle dual rates buttons and the steering trim buttons on the side, we have now dials gathered right here on the top as well. And we now have the steering dual rates dial, and we also have a gyro dial that I don't think it works for this particular RC car. So we have the headlights button, we have the ground effects lights button, the FPV box button, and the multi-function or the bind button. Now they are moved from this side to the opposite side. So they were on this side, now they are on this side. And we now have 3 new buttons. We have the brake button, the P1 button for dual flash, and the P2 button. Now I'm not sure what this does. It does not specify. So the battery bay is on the bottom, just like before. So just slide it and it pops open. And we have the 3 AAA battery cartridge. Now the original remote controller came with an 18650 battery, but it will not fit correctly on this new remote controller. Oops. So when you push it down, it will not close all the way. So the lid won't close all the way. So these contacts right here, that contact, supposed to touch this contact, and they do not touch. So it will not work. I'm not sure why it won't go all the way down, because the top looks identically the same. Basically, it's identically the same. But this will go in here and close all the way. Maybe the inner spring that's on the bottom there, way on the bottom in there, that inner spring is longer, which prevents it from going all the way down, or something like that. But an 18650 battery that has the flat top will allow the lid to close all the way. So those contacts will touch. See? Now it will close all the way. The only problem is now the 18650 battery, being it's flat on the top, will not touch the contact that is here. So to fix that issue, all you need to do is get a piece of or chunk of aluminum foil like that, and then you can go ahead and close it up. And now it will work. So to bind it to a different type of transmitter or to rebind it to the original remote controller, power on the RC car and wait for about 8 seconds. it will go into the binding mode shown by the rapid flashing LED lights. There you go. So now power on the remote controller. These are not bounded, they are out of bind. So now hold the multi-function button right here for about a couple seconds. There you go. Now they are bound. So you can do this to any one of these previous old remote controllers, binding it this way. So let me turn this off, turn it off, turn it back on. Let's use this one now. So wait until it starts to flash rapidly. There you go. Now power this one on. And the multi-function button on this one is right here. Just like that, now they're bound. Now to bind it to a different type of transmitter, same process. Power it on. Wait until it starts to flash rapidly. Make sure the remote controller is set to the afhds protocol. And select the bind and go ahead and hit the bind. Just like that, we are bound. And to bind it to one of these flysky transmitters, same process. Power on. Wait until the rapid lights starts to flash. On this one, you gotta press the bind button at the same time as powering it on. So there we go. Hold it. Just like that, you are bound. Now remember, on the flysky, you gotta power it off. Turn off the remote, power it back on. There you go. So we have a rear spoiler that is provided, and there's the two holes in the rear. So you can go ahead and put it in there. It doesn't click into place or anything, so I'm thinking you gotta put a dab of glue. So, but if you want to put it on, that's how it looks like. It looks pretty cool. And put it on there correctly. So that's how it looks like. Okay, and we'll do it without. So let's go ahead and power it on. All right. Okay, so I have some ground effect lights on. I got the headlights on, the VTX is off. But here's the headlights button, and let's go ahead and press that. High beam, off, low beam, high beam, and off. I'll leave it on the low beam. The next button is the ground effects. Here's the red, here's the purple, dark blue, green, light blue, orange, and off. So once again, red, purple, dark blue, dark green, light blue, orange, and off. I'll leave it on the red. The next button is the VTX button. So right now the VTX is off. You can turn it on if you want to do FPV, and if you want to save battery, turn it off, which is pretty cool. And the next button is to bind. And here are the dial arrays. Here's the steering trim. I have it trimmed, so I don't want to touch that. Here's the throttle dual rates. So let's go ahead and see. It is at the lowest level. So here we go. That's full throttle. Okay, let's turn it up all the way. No big difference. All right. So I'll turn it down all the way since I'm on the table. I don't want it falling off the table here. And also what we have on the top is steering dual rates. So right now it is at the maximum. So let's go ahead and see the radius here. Okay, and I'll show you the range of motion and the full range. Okay, so that is at the highest. So let's go down to the lowest. Okay, it is at the lowest. It doesn't make any difference, I don't think. And the radius is basically identical. So the steering dual rates really don't have anything. And here's the new gyro button. I'm not sure what this does. I can't test it out here. We'll test it out in an open field, maybe with the slicks on, and see if that button works. Next, we have a brake button. It says brake on there. Now, it doesn't make any difference. So when you accelerate and let go, the brakes come on and it turns off. When you reverse, the reverse light comes on, and then the brake light comes on, and then it disappears. So when you press the brake button, still the same thing. Nothing new happens. Okay, one more time. Okay, so I see what the brake does. Okay, right now, when I go forward and let go, and then when I reverse, it automatically reverses. When I press the brake once, I throttle and let go, and I go backwards, I can't. I have to do it twice. Go forward, let go, the brake light comes on. When I reverse, brake light comes on. And then it reverses. So there is a step. So turn it off. See that? So that's what it does. I just found out. Next one is the P1 button. And that is like a hazard light. So you see the hazard light there. In the front as well. So you can drive with the hazard light on. Okay, so you can turn that off. So the next one doesn't have anything. Even the documentation don't say anything. So when you, yeah, it doesn't have anything special. Okay, so those are all of the functions of the buttons. All right, guys, so here we are at the park. Nice smooth concrete surface and smaller concrete joints over here, and sometimes there's some big ones. So we are at lowest throttle rate, and this is full throttle, so you can play around. Pretty responsive, and it's pretty fast. Check that out. Okay, let's go full throttle and full throttle dual rates. That's pretty fast. And it does spin out. Let me see if I can go over the big concrete joints. Yeah. You can speed right over it. No problem. A little rough, but you can go over it. Hey, this is fun. It's such a small car. So you got 20 meters of distance. So this kind of area is no problem. Yeah, if you have few of these, you could be racing. Okay, now let's see if the steering dual rates work. I have it at the lowest. Now I'm going to turn it to the maximum. Maybe it does, because I'm spinning out more. Okay, let me turn it back down. Makes a beeping sound. Nah, you know what? It really doesn't make a big difference at all. Not really noticeable anyway. I'm still spinning out with just a slight turn of the steering. Yeah, see? I'm not turning that much. Okay. So that's just about it. Now let's go ahead and change out the tires and put some slick plastic tires. Alright, got those plastic slick tires on there now. It fits in there pretty good. So let's test it out. Oh yeah, you can be sliding. Oh, look at that. You can practice your drifting skills. Oh yeah. Okay, steering dual rates are at the lowest. Didn't matter. Now throttle dual rates all the way up. I'll bring it down halfway. See if I can control it better. A little bit better. But I can't drift as good. You need the throttle rate to be all the way to the max. There. See, it spins out a little bit more. Yes, I don't know how to drift, as you can see, but one can learn, right? And in a big place like this, you can learn. There you go. Oh, too much. All right. I'm not doing a very good job of it. There you go. Oh, too much. Alright, so you can have lots of fun trying to practice your drifting with the plastic slick tires. Alright. Okay, so I'm finding out that the plastic slick tires, once you put it in, it's pretty hard to take out with your fingernails. So you need some kind of a tool, like a knife tip, to kind of dislodge it and push it out. I don't have such a tool here with me at the park, so I'm just going to go ahead and do some FPV with the plastic slick tires. Okay, throttle rate down to 50%, and I put a couple of boxes over here so I know where I am, and I'm sitting right over here with the FPV goggles. So, oh yeah, this thing is nice and clear. The field of view is really nice, so you can see everything. Here's the box, the big one that I brought everything here with, and here's the product box. Oh yeah, you can definitely check everything out. Pretty good distance there. There's that concrete joint. Oh yeah, man, you can FPV with this thing in front of your house, your driveway, inside of the house, if you have nice smooth floors. Okay, with the throttle rate at 50%, let's see, full throttle. Woo-hoo-hoo. You kind of spin out, and this is with the plastic slick tires. Okay, so let me increase the throttle rate here. See if I can do some, oops, see if I can do some drifting FPV style. Okay, oh, almost got stuck there. It's crazy spinning. Where's that box? Oops. Oh yeah. Lots and lots of fun, guys. Woo! All right. There we go. Okay, so here we go with a little distance run in the parking lot. I'm right over here at the end. There's some parking spaces. So 20 meters. I still got those plastic slick tires, so I'm just going to take it easy. See how far it goes. Still going. Still going. Okay, that's as far as it'll go. Oh, it'll go a little bit more with the remote controller over my head, but the response is a little erratic. The turns are too much, but it is still going. It's still going, and I'm still turning it. It's still going. Okay, now it has stopped. So let's take a walk from here. 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, 4 space, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Come to the end, and here it is. That's pretty far. Farther than what I expected. For a small little RC like this, that's way far enough. Okay, there we go. That's one. So in order to take one of these plastic slick tires off, you need a lathe to get in the cracks right there and open it up, and then you can take it off. The first one was even harder. So get in here, move it out, get a screwdriver, push it out, and then you can use your hands to pull it off. Okay, here's the last one. Get in between, move it around. Get a screwdriver in there so you can separate it a little bit more. And there you go. The wheels are made out of aluminum. And you can see that I've kind of marked it a little bit with the knife. Just here and there. See right there? Right there. And on this one as well, right there, you can see it. And on this one as well. And then putting the rubber wheels back on. It's simple as that. Just goes right on. Rubber wheels go on and come off easily with your hands. So I'll show you how to put one of these plastic ones in there. Fairly simple. You just push it in and it goes all the way in. Easy. But when you want to pull it out, it's kind of hard. So you need to use that knife blade and then use a screwdriver to kind of pry it open a little bit more. And then once it's out so much, you can use your bare hands to pull it out. But you do kind of make markings on the wheel itself. But that should be fine. So there it is, guys, the 1:43 scale 64mm wheelbase competition and drift 4-wheel drive mini FPV RC car. So check it out for yourself. The link is down below. So that'll do it for this video of the SNT SR43 CA51. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you again next time.